The brakes screamed as the black car skidded to a stop, rain hissing against hot metal. The driver's door swung open before the engine died. He stepped out, jacket forgotten, shoes splashing into a shallow puddle. Music, thin, trembling music, cut through the storm, not from speakers but from a human breath, from feet striking wet concrete in time. At the gate, beneath a dying streetlight, the gateman spun. He spun like the night was watching. The billionaire froze where he stood, keys biting into his palm. The music was only a hum at first, a broken tune whispered through clenched teeth, but then the dancer's feet caught the beat, and the body followed, arms opening, shoulders loosening, sorrow lifting into the rain. The gateman danced barefoot, trousers soaked to the knee, shirt plastered to his chest. He smiled at something the billionaire couldn't see, smiling like the world was not heavy. "What the hell?" the billionaire murmured. He should have shouted. He should have fired him. That was the rule he lived by, order first, mercy later. Instead, he watched. The man at the gate lifted a cheap phone, screen glowing blue in the rain. He angled it toward his face and laughed softly, breathless, as if someone had said something kind. "Ma, can you see?" the gateman said, voice shaking. "See my feet? I told you I practiced." The billionaire's chest tightened. The gateman took 3 steps back, lifted his arms, and danced again, slower now, each movement deliberate, careful, like he was holding something fragile. The streetlight flickered, threatening to die, and the rain grew heavier. "Don't cough, Ma," the gateman said, stopping suddenly. He pressed the phone closer. "Breathe with me. Like this. In, out, yes. I'm here." The billionaire took an unconscious step forward. Gravel crunched. The gateman startled, almost dropped the phone, then steadied it with both hands. "Sorry, sir," the gateman said quickly, bowing his head. I'll finish locking up," the billionaire said, surprising himself with the word. It came out sharp, then softer. "Don't stop." The gateman looked up. Rain traced lines down his face that might have been tears. He hesitated, then lifted the phone again. "Ma," he whispered, "someone's here. He says it's okay." The billionaire didn't know why he nodded, but he did. The gateman smiled, relief bursting across his face, and danced again, 1 turn, 2, then stopped to laugh, breathless, pressing his forehead to the phone. "You see," he said. "I told you I didn't forget." The billionaire felt something crack. He turned away first, pretending to search for his keys, pretending he was not intruding on something holy. When he looked back, the gateman was already locking the gate, movements quick and apologetic. "I'm sorry, sir," the gateman said again. "It won't happen again." "What's your name?" the billionaire asked. "Daniel, sir." The billionaire nodded. "Go on. Finish up." Daniel bowed and hurried off into the guardhouse. The billionaire stood in the rain until the streetlight finally died, plunging the gate into darkness. That night, sleep refused him. The image replayed, bare feet on wet ground, a smile stitched from love and fear, a phone held like a lifeline. He rose before dawn, dressed without thinking, and went to the window that overlooked the gate. Daniel stood there again, stiff now, professional, cap straight, eyes lowered. The billionaire watched him work all morning, watched him help a delivery driver with a blown tire, watched him offer an umbrella to a cleaner crossing the driveway. He told himself he was bored. He told himself it meant nothing. At lunch, he called his assistant. "What do we know about the gateman?" A pause. "Daniel?" "Not much, sir." "Came recommended. Clean record. Works nights and mornings. Sends most of his pay home." "Home where?" "Village clinic, sir." "His mother." The billionaire closed his eyes. "Thank you." That evening, the rain returned. The billionaire arrived late again, slower this time, headlights dimmed. He parked before the gate and waited. Daniel finished his rounds, glanced around, then pulled out the phone. "Ma," he said, softer than yesterday. "It's me." The billionaire listened from the car, heart pounding like he was the one about to be caught. "They say the medicine is coming tomorrow," Daniel said, hope wobbling. "Yes, I know they always say that. But I believe it. You told me to believe." He smiled. "Do you want the fast one or the slow one?" A weak voice crackled from the phone, barely audible. Daniel laughed. "Slow, then." "Okay." He danced again, smaller movements now, conserving energy, arms tracing memories in the air. Halfway through, he stopped, coughing hard. He turned his face away from the phone, swallowed, then smiled again like nothing happened. "Ma," he said, "I'm fine. I promise." The billionaire stepped out of the car. The gravel betrayed him again. "Sir," Daniel said, startled. I'm sorry." "What hospital?" the billionaire asked. Daniel hesitated. "Sir." "Your mother," the billionaire said. "Where is she?" Daniel's shoulders sagged. "Village clinic," he said quietly. "They say hospital, but it's small." "Why dance?" the billionaire asked. Daniel looked at the rain. "Because when I dance, she forgets the pain," he said. "She told me once that my feet carry her somewhere else. I can't pay for much, sir. But I can do this." Silence stretched between them, filled by rain. "Do you ever sleep?" the billionaire asked. Daniel smiled, tired and proud. "When she sleeps." That night, the billionaire made a decision he told no one about. The next day, he returned earlier, wearing old clothes, a cap pulled low. He waited until Daniel was alone. "I need help," he said, changing his voice, slumping his shoulders. "My car. I think I'm hurt." Daniel rushed to him without hesitation. "Sit, sir. Careful." "Where does it hurt?" "My ankle," the billionaire said, leaning hard, testing the man in front of him. Daniel broke protocol, guiding him inside the gate, ignoring the camera that blinked red. "I'll get water," he said. "And a chair. Don't move. You could get in trouble," the billionaire said. Daniel shrugged. "A man in pain is not trouble." The billionaire watched him move, efficient, kind, utterly unguarded. Something inside him shifted, slow and irreversible. Later, alone, the billionaire opened old files he hadn't touched in years. Names, contracts, a case dismissed too quietly. A surname caught his eye. Daniel's surname. "No," he whispered. He read until dawn, guilt tightening like a fist. By morning, he knew this was no accident. He knew his family's shadow stretched longer than he'd admitted. And at the gate, Daniel danced again, smiling into a phone, unaware that the ground beneath both their feet was about to crack wide open. Morning came with a headache and a truth the billionaire couldn't shake. He showered, dressed, and stared at his reflection like it might confess for him. The file names burned behind his eyes. Dates. Signatures. His father's handwriting, unmistakable. He hadn't pulled the trigger back then, he'd been a student, overseas, but the gun had been his family's. And Daniel's father had been standing in the line of fire. At the gate, Daniel saluted as the car rolled in. "Good morning, sir." "Morning," the billionaire said, then stopped. "Daniel." "Yes, sir." "Come with me." Daniel blinked. "Sir." "Just inside," the billionaire said. 5 minutes. Inside the courtyard, the billionaire leaned against the stone balustrade. "How long has your mother been ill?" Daniel's hands folded in front of him. 2 years, he said. "It got worse this year." "And your father?" Daniel hesitated, then lifted his chin. "Prison." The word fell heavy. The billionaire swallowed. What happened? They said theft, Daniel said, bitterness leaking through his calm. He was a storekeeper for a company. Money went missing. He was blamed. We had no lawyer. What company? Daniel shook his head. It doesn't matter anymore, sir. It matters, the billionaire said too quickly. He softened his voice. To me. Daniel studied him, cautious. It was called Northgate Logistics. The billionaire felt the ground tilt. Thank you, he said. You can go. That night, the rain didn't come. The billionaire waited anyway, watching from the shadows. Daniel appeared with the phone, his smile thinner tonight. Ma, he said, forcing cheer. I'm here. A nurse's voice cut in, sharp. We need payment before morning. Daniel's shoulders dropped. Please, he said quietly. Just tonight. The nurse sighed. I can't. The call ended. Daniel stared at the phone like it had betrayed him. He lifted his arms anyway, then let them fall. I'll dance tomorrow, he whispered to no one. The billionaire stepped forward. Daniel. Daniel flinched. Sir. I. Walk with me, the billionaire said. They moved along the fence, the city breathing beyond it. If someone offered help, the billionaire said, choosing each word like a wire he might trip, would you take it? Daniel smiled sadly. People don't offer help, sir. They offer loans. What if it wasn't a loan? Then I would ask why, Daniel said. Why? Because nothing is free, Daniel said. And because pride is the last thing my mother taught me to keep. The billionaire nodded. You're right. The next day, the billionaire put on old clothes again and came on foot. He stood outside the gate, limping. Sir. Daniel rushed out. What happened? Twisted my ankle, the billionaire said. Can you help me to the bench? Daniel didn't hesitate. He took the billionaire's weight, arm firm around his waist. Slowly, he said. There. Sit. Thank you, the billionaire said. You didn't ask my name. Daniel shrugged. Pain has no name. They sat. A silence settled. Daniel, the billionaire said, if someone hurt your family, what would justice look like? Daniel laughed without humor. Truth, he said. An apology. And my father sleeping at home. The billionaire's throat tightened. And if the person responsible was powerful? Daniel met his eyes. Then justice would be rare. That night, the billionaire made calls that rattled doors. He summoned lawyers who hadn't slept in years. He pulled threads until the fabric tore. By dawn, a path appeared, dangerous, public, costly. At noon, he stood before Daniel again. Take the rest of the day off. Daniel's eyes widened. Sir, I can't. You can, the billionaire said. Go see your mother. I don't have the fare, Daniel said. The billionaire pressed an envelope into his hand. You do now. Daniel stared at it like it might explode. Sir, I can't accept this. Open it, the billionaire said. Inside was cash. Enough for transport. Not enough to insult pride. Daniel swallowed hard. Thank you, he said. I'll return. Take your time. Daniel returned after dark, eyes red, shoulders slumped. She's worse, he said quietly. They say surgery. The billionaire nodded. Sit. Daniel Saturday, sir, he said suddenly, why are you doing this? Because, the billionaire said, and stopped. He couldn't say the rest yet. That night, Daniel danced again. Slower. Broken. The billionaire watched from 10 feet away, unable to look away. Ma, Daniel whispered, I'm here. A weak smile flickered on the phone. Dance, the voice said. Daniel danced. And the billionaire finally understood that this wasn't about movement, it was about staying. The next morning, the billionaire called a press contact and hung up before speaking. He paced. He cursed. He dialed again. By evening, he had arranged a meeting with Daniel's father, inside the prison walls. Daniel sat across from his father, hands shaking. "Papa." "Daniel," the older man said, eyes wet. "You've grown." "I'm sorry," Daniel said, voice breaking. "I couldn't." "You did enough," his father said. "You stayed." Outside, the billionaire watched through the glass, chest aching. That night, Daniel returned to the gate, lighter and heavier all at once. He looked up to see the billionaire waiting. "Sir," Daniel said. "Thank you for today." The billionaire nodded. "Tomorrow," he said, "everything changes." Daniel frowned. "Sir." "Tomorrow," the billionaire repeated, and walked away before he could lose his nerve. Behind him, Daniel lifted his phone and danced one last time in the dark, unaware that the storm he feared was finally breaking, for both of them. Morning arrived like a held breath. Daniel stood at the gate, uniform pressed with care he no longer felt, eyes scanning the driveway for a sign he couldn't name. The billionaire arrived without his usual entourage, engine quiet, face set. "Daniel," he said. "Walk with me." They moved toward the inner courtyard. The billionaire stopped beneath the old fig tree, its roots cracking the stones like truths pushing up through lies. "I need you to listen," he said. "And I need you to decide." Daniel nodded, wary. "Yes, sir." "My family owns Northgate Logistics," the billionaire said. The words landed like a slap. Daniel stiffened. "Sir." "Years ago," the billionaire continued, voice steady by force, "money disappeared. Your father was blamed. He was innocent." Daniel laughed once, sharp. "Everyone says that." "I don't," the billionaire said. "I have the documents. I have signatures. I have proof." Daniel's breath came fast. "Why tell me this?" "Because," the billionaire said, "my father signed the accusation. Because my silence protected it. Because helping quietly would be easier, and wrong." Daniel's hands trembled. "So this is pity," he said. "Or guilt?" "It's accountability," the billionaire said. "And it will be public." Daniel took a step back. "Public means noise. Noise means danger." "I know," the billionaire said. "That's why this is your decision." Daniel stared at the stones. "If this goes wrong, I will take the fall," the billionaire said. "My name. My company." Silence. A bird startled from the fig tree. "My mother," Daniel said. "She needs surgery." "It's arranged," the billionaire said. "Today." Daniel's eyes snapped up. "Arranged?" "The best surgeon available," the billionaire said. "No conditions." Daniel shook his head, backing away. "I didn't ask for this." "I know," the billionaire said softly. "That's why I'm asking now." Daniel turned away, chest heaving. "All my life," he said, "people decided for us. Judges. Managers. Men with pens. I won't let you be another." "Then don't," the billionaire said. "Tell me no." Daniel pressed his palms together, breathing like he'd taught his mother. "In. Out. Truth," he said. "You asked me what justice looks like. It looks like truth." The billionaire nodded. "Then come with me." By noon, the hospital room buzzed. Machines hummed. Daniel held his mother's hand. "Daniel," she whispered. "You look tired." "I'm okay, Ma," he said, forcing a smile. "I danced last night." "Good," she said. "Dance is prayer." The billionaire stood back, invisible on purpose. The surgeon arrived, calm, confident. Paperwork was signed. Doors closed. Outside, Daniel sat on a plastic chair, staring at the floor. The billionaire sat beside him. "If she doesn't make it," Daniel said, voice hollow, "I don't know what I'll do." "She will," the billionaire said. "And if she doesn't, you won't be alone." Daniel looked at him then, really looked. "Why are you like this?" he asked. "Why not stay comfortable?" The billionaire exhaled. "Because comfort built on someone else's bones rots." Hours passed. The surgeon emerged, smiling. "She's stable." Daniel broke. He covered his face, sobbing, shoulders shaking. The billionaire waited, hand hovering, then rested it on Daniel's back. "Thank you," Daniel whispered. "For today." "For every day after," the billionaire said. That evening, the press conference was announced. Rumors ignited like dry grass. Board members called. Lawyers warned. The billionaire listened, then shut his phone off. On a small stage, lights hot and unforgiving, the billionaire stood alone. "Years ago," he said into the microphones, "my family's company wrongfully accused an employee. That man lost his freedom. His family lost their livelihood. We are responsible." Gasps. Shouts. Cameras clicked. "I am reopening the case," he continued. "We will fund an independent review. We will cooperate fully. And we will compensate the family, not as charity, but as restitution." A reporter shouted, "Are you saying your father committed fraud?" "I'm saying the truth was buried," the billionaire said. "And I am unburying it." The fallout was immediate. Shares dipped. Board members resigned. Threats arrived. At the gate, Daniel watched the coverage on a small TV. His phone buzzed. Unknown numbers. He silenced it. "Sir," he said when the billionaire returned late, eyes rimmed red. "You didn't have to do this." "I did," the billionaire said. "Sleep." But sleep didn't come. Protesters gathered outside the mansion. Daniel stood firm, gate locked, spine straight. "Open up," someone yelled. "Go home," Daniel said calmly. "This is private property." A bottle shattered near his feet. He didn't flinch. The billionaire joined him, shoulder to shoulder. "You can step back." "No," Daniel said. "This is my post." Sirens wailed in the distance. The crowd dispersed, grumbling. Later, alone, Daniel lifted his phone. "Ma," he said, voice trembling. "They fixed it. Papa is coming home." Her smile filled the screen. "Then dance," she whispered. Daniel hesitated, then laughed through tears. He danced under the broken streetlight, movement stronger now, joy fighting fear. The billionaire watched, heart pounding, knowing the hardest part was still ahead. Because justice, once started, does not stop politely. The night stretched thin and brittle, like glass waiting to crack. Daniel danced until his lungs burned and his legs shook, until the phone slipped warm and damp in his hand. When he stopped, he bowed to the screen, forehead touching the glowing glass. "I'll rest now, Ma," he whispered. "You rest too." He ended the call and leaned against the gate, eyes closed. The billionaire stood a few steps away, silent. "You should go home," the billionaire said. Daniel shook his head. "This is home," he said. "For now." The days that followed came fast and sharp. The independent review moved quicker than anyone expected. Evidence surfaced like bones after rain. Names were named. The truth refused to stay quiet. Daniel's father was transferred out of general population. A hearing was scheduled. On the morning of the hearing, Daniel buttoned his shirt with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. "Breathe," the billionaire said, handing him a glass of water. Daniel drank, nodded. If they say no. They won't, the billionaire said. But if they do, we keep going. The courtroom smelled of dust and old paper. Daniel's father shuffled in, thinner, older, eyes bright with disbelief when he saw his son. "Daniel," he said, voice cracking. "Papa," Daniel replied, standing. "I'm here." The judge listened. The lawyers argued. The documents spoke louder than any voice. When the ruling came, it came clean and final. "Conviction overturned," the judge said. "Immediate release." Daniel's knees buckled. He laughed, sobbed, grabbed his father as the room erupted. The billionaire stood back, hands clenched, breathing like he'd run a mile. Outside, the sun felt too bright. Daniel's father touched his face, as if checking it was real. "Your mother?" he asked. "Recovering," Daniel said. "She dances in her sleep." That night, they returned to the mansion together. Daniel stood at the gate as always, posture straight, pride steady. The billionaire stopped before entering. "Daniel," he said. "Tomorrow, I'm making an announcement." Daniel nodded. "About the case?" "About you," the billionaire said. Daniel frowned. "Sir." "Sleep," the billionaire said. "You'll need it." The announcement came at noon. Cameras lined the drive. Staff gathered. Daniel stood at the edge, confused. "I grew up believing power meant distance," the billionaire said into the microphones. "I was wrong. Power means responsibility. Today, we open a foundation, one that supports legal aid for the falsely accused and funds arts education for children who can't afford to dream." Murmurs rippled. "And," he continued, turning, "we are opening a dance academy." Daniel's heart slammed. "Sir. In honor of a man who reminded me that dignity survives in the smallest places," the billionaire said. "Daniel." Daniel shook his head, backing away. "No," he said, voice breaking. "Please. Come here," the billionaire said gently. Daniel stepped forward, every eye on him. "You guarded my gate," the billionaire said. "You guarded something better too." "I'm just a gateman," Daniel said, tears spilling. "Not anymore," the billionaire said. "If you want it." Daniel looked at his parents. His mother lifted a trembling hand, smiling. His father nodded, eyes wet. "I want to teach," Daniel said finally. "I want to dance and help others dance." The billionaire smiled. "Then teach." The academy opened months later in a renovated hall that smelled of paint and promise. Children arrived barefoot, shy, curious. Daniel greeted each one by name. He danced with them, laughed with them, corrected gently. Again, he'd say, "Feel the floor. The floor is your friend." The billionaire visited often, never announced, sitting in the back, watching something heal in the mirror of another man's joy. On opening night, the lights dimmed. Daniel stood backstage, breathing like he'd taught his mother. The music began. He stepped into the light, not alone now, but leading a line of dancers who trusted him with their steps. In the audience, the billionaire stood and clapped until his hands hurt. After, beneath the same streetlight that once flickered and died, Daniel danced again. This time there was no rain. The phone in his hand showed his mother and father sitting together, smiling. "Dance," his mother said, laughing. Daniel danced, and the night watched, and the world, finally, felt light enough to lift.